Welcome to the free webinar series for EFL and ESL teachers by Bingo Bongo Learning. Today we're going to talk about getting started with student progress videos. All right, hi guys, I'm Jeremy Lanig, your host today, and long time no webinar. We've been very busy over the past year. We took all of our lessons, all of our worksheets, and we created video versions for everything, about 2,000 videos in 1 year. It was a lot of work, but it's paying off nicely, as we'll see in today's topic, evaluation videos or student progress videos. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into today's topic. Today's topic is, boom, progress videos. And this is something that we've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years in my English school, step-by-step eikaiwa. So when we started with the English school, we thought, hey, these resources we're using, a popular series of textbooks with workbooks, they're not really working so well, so let's make our own. And we did that. We created Bingo Bongo Learning. And at one point we thought, hey, it'd be nice to have some way to show parents how their students are doing, because I'm sure parents don't really get to hear their kids talking at home. I don't think most students go home and speak English at home. And even if you pass, like a standardized test like Aiken, you're going to have a test score, but you're still not seeing that ability to speak and communicate verbally. So that's why we created this system for taking a video twice a year. We originally called it video evaluations, but we're not really evaluating the student as just showing them the progress. So this is our 10th webinar in the series. If you want to check out our past webinars, you can do that. Just hop on Google and search webinars ESL and you'll find it. And we've got a lot of cool topics from using different games in lessons to QR codes, flipped learning, blended learning, all kinds of great things to check out. So please take a look at those. Some of the past topics may come up in today's conversation. All right, so here we go. We can see here is the video, and we have a cute little girl. Wait a minute, Rose, that's my daughter. Hi, Rose. And so, yeah, we have all of our students taking these videos. You can see this is February 2024. So I'm currently shooting this video, this webinar in February of 2024. So this video was just taken a couple weeks ago. And let's jump right in. So the program now is called the English Journey Progress Video System. And why don't we go and just take a look at one of the videos. So we're going to take a look at April. And she's a student who's been with us for a couple of years now. And let's just watch. Can you spell this? P? P-I-G. Pig. Great job. All right, can you spell this one? C? C-A-T. Cat. Great job. Can you spell this word? B-O-X. Box. Great. Can you spell this one? P-E-N. Pen. Yes. And what about this one? S-U-N. Sun. Great job. And next, can you say your profile? Go ahead. My name? My name is Heidi. My nickname is April. I'm 7 years old. I will be 8. I'm in the first grade. My teacher is Jeremy. I like whitebird, apples, oranges, bananas, and rabbits. I can jump ropes. I can't drive a car. Good job. All right, can you read this story, please? Thing is a deer. Tree is a bee. Thing sleeps by a tree. Bee stings feet. All right, so there we go. That's the evaluation video. And so for April's video, she is currently in level 4. And this year they're going to spend a lot of time focusing heavily on phonics and reading. It's a crash course in reading so that the future levels will not be so difficult when the reading assignments get kind of heavier and heavier. All right, so this video is about 1.5 minutes. It's a good length, I think. And you can see in the beginning, the first part, we do just spelling. And she's actually spelling these words from memory. So this is very cool. And then after she spells all the words from memory, I think she gets about 95% of those correct. We bail the kids out as soon as possible. Again, we're not trying to put any pressure on them. We just want to create this sort of kind of snapshot in time of where their English level is, so that when we compare the videos, we can see how much progress has been made. Then we jump into her profile card, and I think we show it up here. So the profile card has her name, her nickname, birthday, or her age, grade, her teacher, her favorite color, her favorite foods. She put a bunch of things: apples, oranges, strawberries, and favorite animals. And what can you do? What can't you do? And then for each unit, after they practice their profile card or do some achievement, they get a sticker, a shape, and a color. And then finally, we did a reading from the textbook. And I'll go into a little more details about this, but you can see the story here. Dean is a deer, Bree is a bee, Dean sleeps by a tree, and Bree stings Dean's feet. So this is the long E sound, the double E that we would find in, let's see, I believe it's chapter or unit 6 of our Phonics Plus Math Fun book. Just something that they have done recently, and then we check to see if they can read it. And she did a great job. Okay, so that's how the evaluation video works. Now, what do we do after we have the video? Well, okay, so this has been a work in progress. We initially thought, hey, let's go ahead and put all the videos on YouTube. And YouTube used to have a nice feature where you could just dump. You could upload a lot of videos in bulk very quickly. Now you have to go through each video and check if it's for kids or not. Anyway, the process became very difficult or complicated or time-consuming. And so now we just dump them all into an Amazon, it's called AWS, it's called a bucket. And you just dump all the videos in there and we link them up to our blog. So this is a special piece of software that we have developed. It will be available to other schools to access and use from April of 2024, so that's coming up. But let's go ahead and jump back into the blog and see how that worked. So initially we were taking, for each student, we would create a blog post on our website. We'd put a password, and the password can be anything you choose. The student's birthday generally is pretty easy for parents to figure out and log in. And go to the very bottom, and here she is in 2021, February 21. So this is 3 years ago. So it looks like she's been with us for about 3 years now. And let's take a quick listen. Okay. I'm Horizon. I like it. And? Okay, so she's basically just saying her profile. There's no reading, nothing going on. We also didn't have the words or the vocab spelling or reading element or criteria for this evaluation video. This is something that has evolved with the program. Great, so then each year we then do the first video. We do our first video in April, actually in July of the year, of the school year. And then we do the second video in February. So that's a few months after the school year has started and towards the end of the school year. So let's see how much progress the student has made over the last 8 months of this school year is the goal. All right, we can add the ask card if you want to put that on the profile. Starting last year, we added teacher evaluations, so just a nice little written comment for each student that goes into the mix. And then finally, yeah, here we are at this year. And so this is nice. Parents can just see the progress over time. Okay, so back to our slideshow here. And so, yeah, we can do some written evaluations if we want. Now, why do we want to take these progress videos? I've kind of mentioned it, but here are I guess the official reasons that I like to think about. We want to show the students' progress over time. Yeah, that makes sense. And it's nice you can show verbal communication. You can show them speaking and listening as opposed to a number on a test. I passed, ACAN 5. Like, great, but it doesn't really help me. I've met people who've passed the Japanese JLPT level 1, and they can't actually speak very naturally. They know a lot of words, they know a lot of reading and writing, but so I don't think that's necessarily a good evaluation or way to show verbal communication. So these evaluation videos or these progress videos are designed to show verbal communication. But as you see, we've also been adding reading and other elements to them. So you can do whatever you want in terms of the criterion. Okay, so evaluate the curriculum. Now this is really important. This was really eye-opening for us. Initially, when we started doing the videos, we didn't have the videos weren't that great, and the students' levels, well, they couldn't really, they couldn't read, they couldn't write, they could say their profile, but it's because we didn't have a very well-structured curriculum in place. So then we thought, hey, why don't we try to aim for these goals with the evaluation videos and build our curriculum around that? And the students hit the goals. Hey, why don't we try to build on that? And so over time, we've created this curriculum that now we have found is very effective for teaching them reading, writing. They go home and they watch tons of videos. They're doing the learning at home. We have flipped the classroom. And yeah, we're happy with it, but of course we're going to try and keep pushing it further. So that's where the videos, these evaluation videos, are very helpful. Now, if I want to evaluate teachers, this is cool. If I have, say, 5 teachers in my schools, in my classrooms, and I can look at the students for each teacher, and I can sort of check, teacher A's students, teacher B's students. And if you have one teacher whose students, their videos aren't quite hitting the goals, their quality isn't quite where it should be, then maybe we have to look at that teacher's teaching methods or our training approach. Now, again, this is something that for us at Step by Step, because we have flipped the classroom, we have all of our students going home, and for every 1 hour of class time, they're doing about 2 hours at home, scanning QR codes, watching videos for the lesson content, watching the teachers do the worksheets in videos, in mini lessons, and then actually playing review games and doing online activities. We don't have this problem because, when they come to their class, they come to the school, they have one teacher. But when they go home, they have 5 teachers that they see in their videos. So we've sort of solved that problem inadvertently using the flipped method. But if you're not doing a lot of flipped learning, if your kids aren't doing a lot of the learning at home, you're going to have the teachers have much more responsibility in making sure this content is being covered. All right, so motivation. This is a great way to motivate kids. When they see their own videos, they get excited. When they see their peers and their peers sort of speaking at a level just a little bit higher than they're at, I think that's a lot of motivation for students. And then finally, if you are a private English school and you have to think about your school as a business, then you can think about these as sort of a cool way to market your school. You get a lot of word of mouth advertising when parents see the progress. Wow, in 1 year, my kid could do A, B, and C. And so that's a great tool. And so for us as well, starting this year, we're going to create kind of a summary or a year in review sort of newsletter. And it's going to be a 12-page booklet, and it's going to have pictures from the previous year, and we're going to have an outstanding video awards page. And so for all of the videos we just took this month, we're going to kind of look at each one and see which students made the most progress or which ones had just exceptional videos. And we're going to choose kind of our favorite, I think it's about 12 or more. I'd like to select every student for these, but it's not really possible, unfortunately. But the kids and the parents, when they see their pictures in there, they're going to be super excited. And also, potential customers or, trial lessons, they're going to also be able to get a copy of this pamphlet and say, hey, wow, so your level 1 kids can do this, your level 9 kids can do this. That's pretty impressive. And so it's just a nice way to show what your school is capable of in terms of verbal communication without necessarily the, kids holding up the ACAN scores, which is, awesome as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the evaluation goals or the criteria. Now, this is really up to you to decide. If you have a certain curriculum or a certain set of goals, you have to build your evaluation or your progress video goals the best way that suits your students and your needs. I'm going to show you what we've done, and maybe that will give you some ideas for setting up your own goals. All right, so kindergarten, first grade, or kindergarten 1 through 3. So this would be in Japanese nensho, for 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, roughly. Now, when they're just 3 years old, we want them to just be able to recognize pictures. So in the video with April, I was showing her the picture, but I was asking her to spell that word from memory. That would be down here in the level 3. So we sort of have these stages of criteria that we aim for, or goals that we aim for. When they're 4 years old, they've practiced the words, and then the second year around, they're going to see the same words, but we're going to be focusing more on the spellings of those words in uppercase, and then we switch to lowercase mid-year. And so we want to just show them the whole card, or actually just show them the letters, don't show them the picture of the cat, and see if they can read CAT. And that helps us gauge whether or not they've picked that up over the year, which is one of our goals. Now, if any student can't do it, we drop down to the previous level and just say, okay, you can't read the letter CAT, no problem. What is this? It's a cat. This is also nice for new students who join. We don't want to try to evaluate them or give them the same goals that the kids that have been there for 2 or 3 years are doing. So you can always just structure it towards the student's level. And then maybe a year later, they're actually going to jump ahead pretty quickly. So with April, I also asked her to memorize her profile card. So you saw her just saying, my name is Heidi, my nickname is April. She just want to get some of those core vocabulary structures, those grammar points, just internalized through rote learning, through brute force memorization. All right, so then now, how are we, you saw that I had some cards there. Let me switch this here. And this is an important point about not all evaluation resources or tools are created equally. Now, when we first started, we were using regular printed flashcards or like just a picture of a A4 piece of paper with all the pictures. And kids just, even if they knew the words, they weren't very excited to say, it's a dog, it's a cat. Something was not there. And so, we tried a few different things, and finally we created this game, Battle Eggs, which are, you can see these sort of, these little cute cards with lots of colors and different pets, we call them. If you think of zombies, ghosts, and ninjas as pets, that's great. So we got rabbits, cats, frogs. And so we found that by giving kids their own deck of cards, they got so excited, and to them it's not the sort of, test feel. To them it's their toys or their games, something they have in their bags. And so we found that by asking them questions using this activity, this game, they're much more responsive. They're much more willing to just say it if they know it. And if they don't say anything, we know, hey, they haven't picked up that skill yet. So for us, using Battle Eggs was a big eye-opener. And in addition to the pet cards, we also have just they're called battle cards, which are essentially just flashcards. There's a picture and a word, but there are some wild cards involved. And these, they scale up so that we start with short vowel sounds, long vowel sounds. Then we get into blends for level 3 and 4. And then we get into, verbs, nouns, ordinals, cardinals, all kinds of different topics. And so we could actually just keep building our evaluation around this game if we wanted. Now, we want to mix it up. We want to show a few different things. So once they're in, once they're in elementary school, 1st or 2nd grade, we're going to drop the flashcards, the Battle Eggs cards, and we're going to focus more on their profile. Can they memorize their profile cards? And we're going to start reading, just to see if they're able to, read at this point. Because as they get into higher levels, so when they become elementary 3rd and 4th graders, the reading is a little bit more intense, and some kids occasionally slip through the cracks and they can't read, and they get to these higher levels and they're really in trouble at that point. And it makes it difficult to teach, and we have to figure out how to damage control at that point. But by catching that early through these videos, we're able to either have them repeat a class or give them supplementary materials or figure out why they're not watching the videos at home, etc., etc. So the Ask Profile cards, these are free to download on our website, and it's just a profile card. You can print out their picture, laminate these. My name is, my nickname is. So this is exactly what April was saying. I think she said I'm 5 years old, I'll be 6, and they can color in their favorite colors, foods, animals, something they can do. I can swim, I can run, I can't, drive, I can't fly, are kind of popular answers that we use. And then we can put a sticker on after they, achieve their goals. Now the backs of the Ask cards have different vocab words. So we used to try to do evaluations with these. We would just turn over their Ask cards and say, okay, what's this? What's this? It just didn't have the same effect. Either that or they just didn't know. But I think Battle Eggs has created a completely different, way to evaluate that the kids actually want to say. Because I guess to them it's a game, whereas these are, a steady resource that maybe if they see it, too many times, or I'm not sure, maybe they just don't like the format. So level 3, ask profile cards. The profiles get a little more in depth. I guess this one, when you get to level 5. So here we are. How old are you? What grade are you in? Who's your teacher? Colors, things you like. And they just get progressively more advanced. So these are good for having kids memorize their profiles. Okay, and so again on the back, here are some of the stories that you might see in the book that we could use for evaluations. We no longer use these. We just give them a blank piece of paper, or not blank, a white piece of paper with just black text, no images, just actually check that they're reading all of the words. So yeah, when we do the stories, we do the stories from the fun books. If I jump back here, we'll see that we had, okay, so on this page we said, we read a story from the fun books. And for level 4, when they're elementary school, we're gonna use the Phonics plus Math fun book. And yeah, so this is what April read in her first evaluation. Jen gets a pet. The pet is Ben. Ben gets a pen. Jen's leg is red. Oh, you bad little pet. Okay, and then the second story was here. So this is a worksheet that they saw. We worked through it in class. We practiced it. And then for the reading evaluation, we used the same story. So that's really convenient, just to have them read things that they're already familiar with. We could give them something that they haven't seen at all, but that, I don't know. I want to see that they can read what we're asking them to read in class. And yeah, if you wanted to do more of a, reading something they've never seen before, then I guess that would be more along the lines of like Aiken. Okay, so anyway, Dean is a deer, Bree is a bee. Dean sleeps by a tree, Bree stings Dean's feet. That's a mean little bee. So here we go, and then when we get into the higher levels, we're going to focus more on just the profiles, and let's see if we can get this in here. My thing is not working out here. All right, so next for the elementary school 3rd through 6th graders, we'll continue focusing on the Ask profile cards. We'll ask and answer questions based on those, and then read a story from the fun book. And the stories get progressively longer. So these will end up, these two, goals alone will take up anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, which is okay. After 6th grade, we don't do evaluation videos. So junior high school students stand up, we don't, but that is something you could offer if you want. But at that point, I don't feel that, the progress is that exciting for parents to see. It's really for the younger kids to see them going from nothing up until, their levels when they're, 6th grade. So imagine having, they start at kindergarten, 1st grade, and over 9 years having 2 videos per year. Not only do you see them grow up in the videos, but you can just see their English get, better and better, which is just awesome. Okay, so now we're going to jump into some technical elements of the evaluation videos. So how do we take the videos? We used to take the videos. This is the hard way, and I don't recommend it. We used to use a video or a camera or like a smartphone, and you'd hook up maybe a microphone and a light, and then after you take all the videos, drop them into an editing program, Premiere or Final Cut or whatever they're called. And then you can go ahead and put the overlays, you can change the colors, adjust the volumes. And if you have students, if you have, say, under 50 students, this is not an unreasonable task. And it's actually good if you want to learn how to edit videos. This is a great, motivator to do that. But once you hit 100 students, you start to see that this eats up a lot of time. And if you have multiple teachers, it's not a great approach. So this year, we have streamlined the whole system, and now everything is done instantly. There's no editing involved. We click start on the record, we click stop, we upload it, and we're done. More or less. There may be a couple of steps in there that I'm skipping. But okay, so here, if you go to our blog, if you search just ESL evaluations or go to our blog, you'll find how to start a video evaluation program. And you can see sort of our old approach here. I'll update this, but you can see exactly the same thing. And you get the same result, it just takes a lot more time. And so I want to say, no, let's not do this. Let's take a look at our new slick way. And so here you can see the student would be sitting down. Here's the video camera and the nice expensive shotgun microphone, which I don't even recommend now. But yeah, live and learn. This is our trial and error is going to be your path to success, or successfully setting this up in a very efficient manner. Okay, so great, we can get, so this is where we want to be. We want to be having the kids sit down, attach a microphone, and you can see that in the screen, it's already sort of edited. We're using OBS, which is, it stands for Open Source Broadcasting Software, I believe. Anyway, it's a great program. It's a little bit tricky to figure out, but once you understand how to set up your scenes and record, it's really nice because it's all free, and the quality is excellent. And so we also have recently discovered these little mini computers, which are nice. They are quiet and they're powerful enough to run OBS. Even my laptop now is about 5 years old, but it was a very expensive, like high-end Dell laptop. It doesn't run OBS very well, and it's noisy. So this is a really nice solution. These mini computers, you can get them as cheap as like 20,000 yen. And as I'm recording this in 2024, the technology is going to change, but it's only going to get smaller and cheaper, hopefully. So we'll talk about the components, so all of the technical things now, and then we'll look at how to set up that OBS frame. Okay, so the first thing I want to recommend is getting a lavalier microphone. What I'm using right here, this little thing attached to my my hoodie here, this is awesome. Now, if you're not an audiophile, it might not be super clear, but if I go back to one of our old videos shot with a shotgun microphone, I'm going to hit play here. Let's see what happens. Good job. Good job. What's this?
It's a
Black
rabbit.
Good job. So this might not be super easy to hear, but there's a lot of echo in that audio, and it's picking up a lot of the sound from the room. The teacher's voice is also very loud and powerful in the video. Now, if we go back to April's video, let's see if we can find hers here. Let's listen to her voice one more time. Can you spell this? All right, can you spell this one?
C-A-T, cat.
Great job. Can you spell this word?
B-O-L.
So her voice is actually just, all you can hear is her voice, and there's no echo, there's no room ambience. And if you have people talking in the background, this is much more forgiving if you don't have a perfect silent environment to record. So these are really good. And I think when I bought mine, they were around 8,000 yen. They've gone up a little bit. But it's still a very, very solid investment. Okay, so I definitely recommend a lavalier mic. And again, there are different grades, different levels of quality. If you already have a mic you want to try out, go for it. This is just one that I have found to be very reliable, and the sound quality is definitely recommendable. If you do have something like a podcast mic or a condenser mic, those do pick up a lot of background noise. I would say try to avoid those if possible. All right, so next, now how do we get your mic plugged into your computer? Every computer probably has some sort of built-in mic plug-in. Unfortunately, we have just found that there are so many different types of, they're called preamps, that it's not really reliable in terms of consistency. So sometimes they're too quiet, and you have to go in and fix it with editing software, which again is our goal. We want to avoid that. Most laptops, if you're using a Mac, they have decent built-in. But again, the settings, we have found that this dongle here, it's called the Sound Blaster Play 3. It's just a USB audio interface. You plug it in. You make sure that it's set to the level 90 if you're using Windows, the sound settings. I could probably even show that at some point. I'll show that when we do the technical side of things. And you plug it in, and that's it. And so you just get a really good quality sound, and you don't have to worry about what machines classroom A has, B has, or so if you're looking at consistency, across different computers or schools, definitely this is something I would recommend. If you want to just try using what you have, it could work. So give it a shot. Next, we've already compared the sound from the shotgun mic versus the lavalier mic. The mic that you saw in this video is a 30,000 yen mic, but again, it's designed for something different, and getting a really nice audio, recording from somebody's voice, having that mic up near their face, especially with kids who might talk a little bit quietly, this is the way to go. So definitely lavalier mic. Here's the audio interface. Now, for a camera, anything is probably decent. I would say get your camera off of the computer. I wouldn't use a built-in webcam. They tend to be lower quality. I like the Logitech C920N. I've been using it since 2015, well before the pandemic. It's just a good, solid, video camera, webcam. Now, if you're going to be using these sort of cheap, these computers here, they're decent, but they're not, amazing in terms of their video processing capabilities. So watch out for sort of high-end 4K, which need a lot more processor speed or specs that you probably won't have from a cheap computer. So just a standard HD, 1080p HD. I wouldn't go any lower, but I wouldn't go any higher. So that's just one that I have found to work. There's probably tons of options there, but make sure to don't use the microphone built in. These aren't that great of microphones. Okay, so now as far as the computer, again, if you want to try out these sort of mini computers, I picked up this one last month and set up one of our stations, and all of the teachers were able to record all of their videos using this with no issues. I regret buying this one because it doesn't have USB-C, so I have to use HDMI to connect the external monitor, and I need to put a separate cable to power it. If you have USB-C, you can run HDMI through that for most computers that have that enabled. So anyway, 24,000 yen is very cheap for setting up a computer that can, run basically everything I need, including OBS and taking these videos. All right, so on the high end, if you want to get something that's actually a little bit better for, gaming or, a 4K video, this is something I also picked up. It's about 100,000 yen. And yeah, it seemed to work fine. I was using a high-end camera and I was running into some issues there, but just whatever you get, it should be fine. Just test it out. And yeah, hopefully there are no, flickers or glitches in the video. That's the main thing you want to watch out for. All right, so for monitors, I've been using these guys, 25,000 yen. It's actually a touch enabled monitor. So if you plug it in, you can control your computer, your screen as a touch screen. So if you had any apps or games that you wanted to play in class, if you're running the Fun Box or the Go Zone, you can run all of those apps on this monitor as well. So for me, these cheap computers are actually a nice way to replace laptops and replace a tablet. So I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to bundle the wires and get it much more presentable here when I use it with students. But I just have much more computing power, and for I think a fraction of the cost for maybe like a tablet of a similar with similar specs or size. So yeah, this is a 15-inch monitor. Just attach a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse if you want, and you're good to go. Now for lighting, this is optional. You don't have to. For some of our schools, we use it. One's classroom has a lot of sunlight, so we don't need to use external lighting. But if you want to have a much better quality video, I would recommend it. These aren't super cheap, but you get two of these panels with a stand, two panels for 15,000 yen, so 7,500 yen a piece. And for April's video here, let's go back to April's video. So you can see this is actually lit using an LED light. It's just nice, smooth lighting, decent contrast. The saturation is good. So yeah, it's just something to consider if you want to have a little bit better quality. Here you can see Nick, his video actually is not shot with a light. This is just using natural light. So either way, it just depends on your classroom and your setup. So great lighting. All right, and so again, here we can compare two videos. Here on the left, she has the LED lighting. Here on the right, it's a little bit less contrasty. It's a little bit flatter. It works. I mean, I don't think parents are going to be super picky, but of course, we want to create the best product possible when we're creating these videos that parents are going to, keep forever. Okay, so then what is the process of shooting the video? Very quickly, I'll run through this. The student sits down. We attach the mic, so just clip it right onto their shirt. Now in OBS, I've got that software open on the computer, and I just changed the name, and I hit record, and I do the evaluation. Now after that, I'm going to rename the file. And the reason I do this is, well, obviously I need to know who's in the video, but the way we set up our student profile pages now is that we just dump all of the videos into Amazon, and instantly, if you have the file name in a certain format, the videos automatically populate and become visible for the parents. And then we upload to the sharing site. We use Amazon. If you're just getting started, you could try something like Dropbox, OneDrive, or YouTube. Those are all valid ways, but again, some of them are just easier than others, some of them cost more than others, and some of them are just time-consuming. If you want to know more about our student profile software, you can just send me a message and I can explain that in more detail. All right, so James here, he sat down. Hey, James, what's your name? And I go ahead and type James. And that's it. If you want to do one quick rehearsal, just so the kids, maybe if they're nervous, they have butterflies, just get that out of the way. Okay, so let's go. Hit record and boom. That's it. So now let's jump into setting up OBS. All right, so this is going to be a little more technical. I'm actually going to go through and show you how to set up your scenes, your frames, your videos. And yeah, if you want to get started with OBS, this will be a great tutorial to help you get on your way. All right, so let's go ahead and look at how we set up OBS. So just go into Google, search OBS, and it'll probably be the first link. Download the free software. It's on Mac or Windows, anything you're using. Then we'll go to the OBS window, and it looks like this. Well, it probably won't look like this with a weird vortex. Just ignore that for now. And down here I have two sources. You can ignore both of these. You'll have just absolutely nothing. It'll be blank. So what we'll do is go to Scene Collection and type in New. And I'm going to type in New. I'm going to call this Scene Progress Videos. If you want to have different scenes for different levels or different, whatever videos you're taking, this is nice. You just hit OK. And then, I've got different scenes for all of my different videos that I shoot. It's really convenient. Next, what I need to do is I need to get my frame. I need an overlay here. So I'm going to go into this folder. Now, I've set this up. I'm going to make this available to anyone who wants to download it. You can use any of this as you'd like. Now, in here, you can see there's April's sample video. If you click on the Word documents, we have all of the criteria that we use at step by step. So feel free to use those as a launch point, get some ideas. If you wanted to get the link for Battle Eggs, Ask Cards, or the Fun Books, those are all in there. So please feel free to use those. Next, the recommended gear. I've got some of the screenshots, the thumbnails in there. Ooh, did I forget one? I did. So I'm just going to sneak this in as an afterthought. If you do have to extend your microphone or your webcam, please use a USB extender. If you try to use a cable to extend the microphone, usually it doesn't work very well because mic doesn't have a very strong signal. So always extend your USB connections as opposed to audio cable. Great, so there's that. Now let's go into the overlays. We've created a series of different colors. You can use these to get started, or if you know how to use Photoshop and create your own, by all means, go for it. I'm going to go ahead and use the red overlay today. And so, yeah, if you wanted to try to import my scene and set that up, you could do that as well. But let's build a scene from scratch right now. So I'm going to go here to plus, and I'm going to add an image. I'm going to call this overlay. Boom. And let's go into browse, and I need to find where those overlays are, and just click on your overlay. So now you should be seeing something like this. All right, now I want to go back to my my screen here. Okay, so I have a couple of things here. This one, you can just ignore that. It's so that you can see what I'm doing in OBS. If I turn that off, then you can only see the resulting video. Okay, and so let's go turn that back on. Next, I want to add a microphone, and I'm actually using a microphone to talk to you right now. So the one that says ignore, I'm going to just change that into the student mic. So you would go ahead and click plus, and you would add a new audio input capture, and then you would call that student mic, and then you would hit OK, and you would choose Sound Blaster 3 from there. I'm not going to do it because I already have a mic set up. You might even be hearing the doubles, but okay, so instead I'm going to rename my current mic student mic. Okay, great. So we have a microphone, we have the overlay. All right, so next I want to go ahead and add the video of the student. So I'm going to hit plus to add a new source. And for this one, I'm going to use a video capture device. That could be a web camera or a video feed. I'm going to call that the student camera. Whoa, and there is me. So you can probably see all of this. And let's see, I'm going to set this up. You can select your web camera down here. Boom, set that up and hit OK. And so now you can see the video of me is on top of everything. I need to lower. So I'm going to take the student camera. I'm going to drop it under the overlay. If I drop it under the overlay, now it's hidden under there. And so what I'm going to do next is actually go ahead and click the video, and you can see I can drag it around. So I'm going to turn off my feed here, or my layer. And if you want to resize that to have a little more of the student visible, something like that's good. Or maybe you want to be more zoomed in to get have the face more visible like that. That's fine. It just depends. Maybe they're holding a document. And great. So after you're done with layers, lock them. I'll show you here. You can lock them. And by locking them, we make sure that we don't accidentally click and drag them around. So great, that looks good. Everything is locked down. Next, I want to add a logo to the video. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to add image, and I'm going to call that logo. So hit OK. Then for the image file, I'm going to browse, and this you'll have to use. Please don't use step-by-steps. Here is my logo. Great, and then I'm going to just, let me turn off my layer here. I'm going to click and drag that and just sort of move it around. I can resize it by clicking on the red border, bounding box. Beep, boop. Okay, so something like that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to lock that. I'm going to move that down as well. Don't move it under the overlay. If you do, it disappears. But instead, I'm going to move the logo just above the overlay. And it looks like that. Don't forget, because there's the red box around it, just make sure to go ahead and lock your layer. Great, and now you cannot accidentally change it. Okay, so things are looking pretty good. I've got my scene here, got my logo. Now, I need to have a student name and the date. Those are the last two things. So you hit plus, you're going to go down here to text, and when you click text, you'll get a new one. I'm going to change the data here, so hopefully this is all visible. So you can see the name, Jeremy. I can choose my font, and let's see, what else do I want to do? Change the color here, boom, and then hit OK. So then Jeremy pops up. I can drag that around. I'm going to move it here and make that a little bit smaller so it fits nicely. Boom. Great, and so then when a new student sits down to take the evaluation video, I would just click student name each time and change it. Okay, next is Mikey. Mikey's up. Hey, Mikey, hit OK, and then it says Mikey. Or also, don't forget to lock this to get rid of that red box. Next, okay, April's turn. And this way they sit down, we just change the name, do a quick rehearsal, get them ready to shoot, and then start, record, stop, done. Okay, so that's it. Next, I need a date here. So for date, what am I going to do? Well, I can create a new text box the same way. Go plus and text and do all that. Another thing you can do is just copy. So right-click an existing layer, hit copy, and so now it says paste reference or paste duplicate. If you paste reference and you change one, they will all change. If you duplicate, then it creates a copy of it, but it won't change the existing ones. That sounds very complicated. Let's see what this looks like here. Okay, so I added a new student name here, and when you duplicate it, it actually plops it right on top. I'm going to rename this one to a date, just the evaluation date, and I'm going to just bring it down here. And so if I double click this one, then I can go ahead and change that to February, and boom, hit OK. All right, so make that a little bit smaller, and I should put the year as well, February 2024. All right, so I think we finally have everything set up. And so if I turn off my my layer here, lock down that. So let's turn off this layer. Pew. All right, so there I have my nice overlay set. And in the bottom corner, you can see this stop recording. Now, I'm recording this webinar right now, so it doesn't, it'll say start recording for you. Have the student sit down, attach the mic. Okay, ready, start. What's your name? Where are you from? What color do you like? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, great job. Stop. And your video is done. Now, I guess since we're on the topic, I'll mention a couple things here. When setting up your OBS, here are a couple things that are very useful. So let me go ahead and turn my layer here. Let's make it full so you can see everything. I'm going to go down here to settings. And maybe I won't be able to change this because I'm recording, but if you go to video, yeah, I can't change anything. Make sure your FPS, your frames per second, is 30. You don't want to have 60. That's overkill. The files will be much too big and you don't need that many frames. Also for output, what I want to do is go down here and I want to change recording format to MP4. You can play around with different things, but this is the one that I prefer. It's the easiest to work with and upload and share. Now, also, as far as recording quality, I like high quality, medium file size. Again, play around with some different things if you want, but MP4, and then you want to have somewhere you're going to find it says HD. That was in the video. You want this to be 1920 by 1080. That's HD. And 30 frames per second. That is important. Also, I didn't mention this yet, but let's go down here and let's search. Maybe you cannot see this, but I'm going to search in Windows for audio settings. And actually, it's called sound settings. And you're going to get this window that pops up. And for input, you have Sound Blaster 3 mic, device properties. Just make sure that's around 90 to 95. Depending on how loud you need it. For really quiet kids, the louder the better, but if you have it lower than 90, it's too quiet. And for me, the way I speak, going over 94 is a little bit too loud. All right, well, hopefully this webinar has given you some ideas on how you might set up your own progress video evaluation system. Now that we've looked at the criteria and goals, some of the things that have worked for us and haven't worked, how to get those into a format for parents to see, the technical side of things, and how to set up OBS. Hopefully you have all the tools you need to get started. But of course, if you ever have any questions, feel free to contact us anytime. info@bingobongokids.com. All right, until next time, see you.